How's it going, everybody? My name is Reese. I'm just a technician, and today we're going to be talking about the Honda Grom, and I'm going to talk about what I think about after owning it for about a year. So I actually did get it in January. It is now April, so it's been a little bit over a year, but since it's now the start of the riding season, it's more of a 1 year of consistently riding it, and I kind of want to show you guys what it's been like, kind of pros and cons, and go over all the modifications that I showed you guys on the bike, or all the modifications I got on the bike. First modification I ever put on the bike is this exhaust here. This is the Stunt Exhaust off of Amazon. I think I ended up paying like 60 bucks for it. I'll put a link down in the description. This is one of the first modifications I put. You did see it did suffer from my injury. But a couple of pros and cons about this exhaust though that I got. Well, the exhaust is pretty cheap. It's pretty easy too. It's a full exhaust system, 60 bucks. Goes up to the back of the motor, comes back out. It does mount to the back of the rear sets here. And it did survive an impact pretty good. Now, a couple of cons I had with it is one, the springs that it comes with. I actually have it down here. The spring it came with are really big, and you can tell that with the burnt marks that they didn't really seal right. So I went on Amazon. I got some smaller springs. Ain't nothing to it. And I got smaller springs on there. I actually just got these today because I keep trying to get the smaller springs. It kept rattling and everything. Now with this, it's a lot more secure. Got one on top and the bottom, and it sounds a lot better. The exhaust itself, I had no problems with it. The exhaust does come with a baffle that does come in the rear. It's like a little Allen you put in here, and you can take the baffle out, which is what I had done because I wanted it to sound a little loud. It sounds kind of like a little pit bike or whatever. It sounds pretty cool. Quite frankly, though, I didn't really notice the difference between it in and out, except for with it in, it sounded a little bit more raspy, I believe, in my opinion. However, I am taking it out. It sounds way better like this. I like the way it sounds now. And besides, being a bike as small as it is, any kind of noise counts. I don't know if you're on the side of a loud pipe saves lives or not, but definitely helps. So that right there is the exhaust. I really like it. Now the next mod that I put on here is one that everyone's more familiar with. It's actually one of my most viewed videos here that I have on the Grom, and even the most last viewed video I did of last year, and that's my KEMIMOTO Fender Eliminator Kit. So normally the Grom has this giant fender, if you're unaware, that comes out to here. I ended up putting on this kit right here. This kit was like maybe $60 as well. I don't know. Like I said, I'll put the link. I'll actually put a picture of all these mods I did with the price on it and everything. So if you're interested, you can get it for yourself. And I'll put it on the screen too, so you can look without having to do too much of research on your guys' own side. But this right here, I love it. Absolutely no freaking issues with these. If you have a Grom and you didn't do this, I don't know what you're waiting on. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. This thing's amazing. It looks way better. I like how it keeps everything looking all tucked under the bike and everything. I mean, that whole whale tail thing was just awful. Turn signal mounts onto it perfectly fine. Your tag light mounts onto it better than the factory one. My factory one shook a lot. This one doesn't. So if your guys' factory tag light shakes a little bit, you know, get this Eliminator Kit. One thing, my issues, I remember I stated in the video, was that I kind of cut the wires. I didn't have to, but there's no protection plate in here. I was worried about moisture or anything. So far, I haven't had any issues regarding moisture. I mean, you can see that all the dirt kicked up here and everything, and I know I need to get this thing washed, but you know, the pollen's not helping either. But I drove in the rain a few times. Kind of sketchy. Wouldn't recommend it, but everything is so far holding up pretty well. Some pros and cons of this. Pros, I like how it has these little rubber feet, so your license plate, when it sits in your bike, I mean, it's a one cylinder, so it's going to the bike to shake. It doesn't rattle your license plate, which I love. That would drive me crazy if it did. Another thing too, pros, I like how it has all these spaces on the sides and everything, so you're gonna get like aftermarket like tail or turn signal lights or whatever. It's optional, but the factory stuff is also still there. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty factory too. I mean, it kind of goes with the whole bike-esque theme that's going on here. Super easy to install. I mean, I can't really think of a good con, really. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. I mean, guess con, it doesn't really, I mean, I don't know. It's amazing. I love it. If you guys didn't get one please. It's amazing. Life changer. And all these modifications that I'm talking about here works for the 22, 23, now the 24. Anyone with the 24 Grom who just got it, let me know. Now, my next mod that I did to it is these levers. So let me tell you about some of these levers. These levers, I like them, but I'm not like a huge fan of them, if that makes any sense. So the levers here, this is the brake lever, obviously. First, let's just talk about them. $30 off of Amazon, $34 or something off of Amazon. They work amazing. They match. They're black. I got like the little red adjusting lever that matches the rest of the bike. This part right here, you can adjust how much, how far your travel is for your brakes and your clutch. Super easy to install. Ride it. I don't know. However, I have a few more cons about these than I do with the other ones. Now, these things haven't failed me yet. I'm worried that one day they might, but they haven't failed me yet. And actually, I did that video of these levers here, and somebody actually said that, I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys watched the video, putting the cable in. I can't see, the sun's in my eyes. Okay, the cable's up here. When I'm putting the cable in, I was kind of struggling. The dude actually commented, which was actually a good idea, and I didn't think about it until later. If you put the clutch cable into the lever first and then bolt the lever up, it's way easier. I mean, it takes like a third of the time. This lever right here, basically one bolt in and out, got it done. But yeah, 34 bucks though. So pros and cons, I guess. Pros, I mean, it was really cheap, 34 bucks. Another pro is that they look really, really good. I like the, like I said, the black on it. It's kind of got like the machine finish on them. I mean, they work well. They feel comfortable in my hands, and they handle up a good bit of abuse so far. I mean, sometimes on the clutch, I just like drop the clutch out of my hand, give it some gas, let it go, and I mean, it's still on there intact and everything. No issues here. But I want to say some of the cons. Okay, there's a good bit of cons. They have resin on the inside. It's like a 3D printed resin kind of looking thing, and that's what kind of actually does all the important aspects of your bike here. You got it right here. I mean, so I feel like that resin might crack one day under all the abuse and stuff like that I'm putting it through. And if it does crack, then I mean, I'll be out of a lever if I'm out of a clutch or something. Or I mean, without a front brake, I use my rear brake, you know, to help if my clutch goes out. I mean, a load of pain right there. That right there is something to think about personally. That's something I'm worried about. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't heard of it happening, but just with the materials that they use, I can see it happening. Another con too, and I don't know if you guys noticed in the shots here, the color is off. And that's because I try to use cleaner to clean these. After it was literally right when I put these on, I got the whole bike washed. I was looking good, and the paint. The soap I used, it was dish soap, and it started peeling the paint off. The paint started like getting all weird. And I mean, these are like cheap, you know, cheap levers off of Amazon, 30 bucks. I can get new ones and they'll look better, and I just know not to wash them. But I guess to fix that remedy, if you do get these levers, do not just wash these levers with soap or with water. Don't put soap on them. Soap on the rest of the bike, don't put soap on the levers. And I mean, I think that'll remedy that issue. These are all the modifications so far that I have on the Grom. I want to do some more. I'm thinking about doing handlebars here really soon, because everyone keeps telling me to do handlebars, but the factory ones, I mean, I like them. They work well, but people keep telling me I gotta get some pro tapers. If you guys have any recommendations of what kind of pro tapers, like the high risers, like these, or get some like the lower ones, let me know. I don't know the difference between the two. Another thing too is I want to move my mirrors out here on the side maybe, or maybe do some underarms. Because one thing about these mirrors is that they give me a really good view of my shoulder. And sometimes I don't need all that. Now, let's get on to the bike. So I had the bike for about a year, and so far it's been pretty great. Let me actually turn the bike on. So in 1 year riding, I've gotten 3,062 miles. Clean my low gauge clutch off. Let's get it started to neutral. So starts good, got the exhaust going. First of all, the bike has been amazing. I have not had a single issue with it. I mean, it's a Honda. You get what you paid for. But I mean, with a small bike, $4 grand, I mean, that's after like fees and taxes and everything from a dealership, $3,400 or whatever. It's not a bad bike. I like it. I like it a lot. I do leave it outside a good bit. I should probably bring it in with how small it is. But like during the winter when I wasn't riding it as much, I put it in the, I put it on the porch. It's like covered. But bike's good. Letting it turn on for a second. So just by sitting on it, some of the stuff I like just about the bike from appearance. The one thing I don't like is the mirrors. See, when I'm riding, that's what I'm seeing is my shoulder. I want to see that. I want to be able to see what's behind me. All the buttons feel nice and high quality. They work really well. Got the horn. I got the turn signals. Nice click, easy to understand. You got your starter, you got your kill switch that works every time. Got your little brake master cylinder with a little clear thing. I mean, that's pretty typical. You got your little gauge up here. The gauge is a huge pro. I really like the gauge, especially for someone who's just now learning how to ride. It's good. It tells you everything like your gear indicator, stuff like that. You also got 2 buttons here. So you also have a trip meter. See where trip A, trip B. The buttons are really hard to press, but you're not really pressing them often. And then you also got, this thing gets about 116.6 miles per gallon. I used 26 gallons of fuel since I bought the bike. 27 is my average miles per hour. 116. So that's all that kind of information. You got your fuel gauge out here. You got the clock. You got your tachometer. Works pretty well. You got your little red lines up there. I mean, that part works really well. I like all that's good. I like all that. I have no issues with the gauge itself. Small. You have all your indicators up top. You got like a little shift light. But I mean, everything just works like it's supposed to. Super simple, super informative. I really like it a lot. Now the ignition, on the other hand, I like the ignition. It's in a good spot and everything. However, sometimes it sticks. So I don't know if you guys noticed on some of the videos. I put the key in there. It works fine there. But sometimes I'll put it in there and it just would not turn. This one turns. It's turning fine now, I guess, because I'm talking about it. But sometimes it does stick, and sometimes you gotta like put it in there and twist it. I know that's only the case when I leave it outside for a good bit. If it's in the house, then we're not in the house. But if it's like under the porch or something, it'll fucking work fine for a little bit. But another thing too is the fuel cap. Coming down on the bike, we got the fuel cap and everything. Fuel cap works simple. It's like a normal fuel tank thing. Access to your fuel. I only put ethanol-free fuel in here. Put 89 or 93, depending on whatever the gas station I have. I just put ethanol-free in here. Never had issues. I mean, the gas that it was just running off of was gas I put in last year, and I mean, it's still running fine. Now, it is fuel injection on the bike, so there is no carburetor. It does have a little throttle body. However, and a lot of people are saying you don't really need to put ethanol-free fuel in it. However, with how small the fuel lines and stuff like that are on here and everything, I don't really want to risk it, because it's going to be a pain to clean when spending an extra 50 cents on fuel. Not that really big of a deal. It only has a 1 gallon fuel tank on, a 1.1 gallon fuel tank. So I mean, whatever the gas price of a tank of, or whatever the gallon of gas price is for ethanol-free fuel, that's basically what you're going to be spending to put it in here. And here in my area, North Carolina, it's about $4 a gallon. So $4 to fill it up, $4 to go. I mean, what is it? 125 miles? I'm not complaining. Big con is these side panels, though. On these Hondas. Now, this is the side that I fall on. You can tell because it has a mark. But this did not break when I fell. This actually broke from when I was riding it. This black piece right here pushes in. There's clips in it that break really easy. And I do, when I ride the bike, I like to hug onto it. My knees stay here, and I'm like putting pressure on it. And I was riding, and I heard this part just go like snapped, and this part came in, and now sometimes when I'm driving, it rattles, and it drives me crazy. It hasn't recently, but I haven't been riding it for a little bit because I've been out of season. But and these panels are cheap to replace. They're like 50 bucks. I need to get it done. I haven't done it because I'm lazy. 3 screws here, 2 Phillips head screws on the back side. It comes right off. But that's definitely an issue. This side hasn't done it yet, but this side has done it. Do not like it, but I saw that was a common issue that a lot of people had with the Groms. I thought about changing all the colors to like maybe like blue or something, but I saw that then for 2024 they came out with a white Grom. That looks freaking dope as crap. So I might do like the white sides and then black everything out. I don't know, but that sounds pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Another pro is the bike does have disc front and rear brakes. This is not the Grom with ABS, so I do not have all that safety feature stuff, but do front rear disc rotors and everything. Good, no issues with them. The brakes are pretty responsive, so no issues there. One issue though, if I'm in the tire area, is that the tire itself, these V-rubber tires, this is what comes from the factory. These things suck. If it's slightly damp outside, these things are just all over the place. If you're driving any kind of weather that's not perfectly dry and sunny, you're going down like a big girl in rollerblades. Like, it's just not happening. There's not an issue that I had. It's an issue that a lot of people had. When I fell on my bike, it was slightly damp outside. Tires were a little wet, and part of kind of, I think, why I fell down. That I know it's my fault running out of sidewall, but I do want to get new tires for it eventually. Tires aren't too expensive. I mean, look at them. They're the size of like trailer tires. However, the pros I do like how they put the valve stems at 90 degrees outwards, so easy to put air in them. I haven't had to put air in them yet, but definitely something that made it easy to do. Also didn't put the airbox. Still have the factory airbox. It does have a little glass thing for any like oil or water pickup. I didn't really have that kind of issue with it, so it's whatever. The lights on here are all LEDs. I really like the lights a lot. They're pretty bright, pretty noticeable. You got the reflectors, which are gay. Need to take them off. Oil, that's another thing. Maintenance on the motor. So I changed the oil twice. I did my 400 miles and then I did one for 3,000 miles. Oil change. You got your oil filter here. Oil filter's $13. There was no aftermarket oil filter for this yet when I got the bike. However, K&N now makes one for only $2 less than the OEM one. Not that big of a deal, but that's just you guys' personal preference. It's only a quart of oil, exactly 1 quart, so that's pretty easy to change. I have a video on that. I'll link that in the description too. I'll actually link in the description too of not just the mods but all the videos. I didn't make a video of that one. I'm thinking about getting a new one. I might make a video on that one that doesn't look all beat up, but that's it on the Grom. Now let me go real quick. I'm gonna get a fresh battery for the GoPro. I'm gonna go get my jacket on, my helmet on, and I'm gonna go for a ride on the bike. And I want to try a new setup I'm thinking about, getting some audio into the Grom, but this is gonna be the first test of figuring it out, so if it doesn't work out well, I'm sorry guys, but let's check it out. All right, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but hopefully you can. But let's go drive the Grom around so I can talk about some more pros and cons with this thing. Another pro, or con I would say, is that this thing is only, okay, well, it's a 5-speed. That's not a con. The con is that finding neutral is really hard. You guys know, and it's neutral, but sometimes you like go and you'll click it up. Okay, that one geared just fine. That was the one in gear fine. Okay, now it's working fine, but you gotta be really fiddly with it to find neutral. Because finding neutral is hard. I don't know why. My vents are open, okay. So let's go give this thing a ride down the road and see what's going on. Whoa. There we go. Sounds good. Bump, 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 bump. Man, I tell you right now, with putting those springs on, I put the springs on the exhaust today, and let me tell you, good idea. It's also really chilly outside, but those springs are a good idea because it sounds way better. It sounds way better. It sounds way better. Yeah, so other than riding it, another con is that this bike, I'm going wide open throttle. It only goes 57 miles an hour, 58. I can get up to 60, but right now I got wind pushing at me. But it's not very fast. However, you're buying a Grom, right? If you want a bike that goes fast, you get like a Hayabusa or a CBR or something. You don't get a Grom. Which is good for people who are just not learning how to ride, because you don't need to go fast. I didn't need to go fast. I can slow down a little bit too aggressively, but I'm used to ride my mag now where I gotta like look over because I don't have mirrors. The bike runs great, it drives great, it's nimble as crap. I like this bike a lot. I mean, cons, it's like, yeah, you're real small, but it might be a small bike, but it doesn't have a low seat height. Some bikes, I want to say the Shadow actually has a seat height a little bit lower. I'll verify that. But this bike, I mean, so you sit up pretty high, even though it's kind of small, which is not something you want. I don't know. I don't know at all, but I mostly use this thing to drive around town. Like if I want to go around town or something, I would. It's not really a good this is not a good back roads highway bike. I would not even dare to think about taking this thing on the freeway. Well, there we go. I think I got more speed bumps on the way, but it's a good bike though. I mean, it's been reliable, easy to maintain, it's air cooled, so and your oil and your transmission fluid are the same fluid. Those are some clean downshifts, boy. I tell you what. Someone in a Grom forum page on Facebook, I believe, said something, and it made a lot of sense. And it was that you can't drive a fast bike. It's better to drive a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. Because the Grom, yeah, it's slow. You can go wide open throttle, bashing through all the gears. You're not breaking any rules. You're not breaking any speed limits. Flooring it, opening it, dude. Like, we're still in compliance. You do that with like a CBR, and you're probably on like a warrant list or something somewhere. Do that on like a Hayabusa, you're probably dead. Now, if this is your first bike, if it's a yes, then you should get one, because it'll help you learn how to ride a motorcycle. Basically, if you can learn how to ride this, you can learn how to ride any motorcycle. The only difference is weight. The clutches are in the same spot, the gears are in the same area, the brakes are in the same spot. I mean, whatever you learn on here, you'll be able to learn on, you know, bigger bikes and stuff, or you'll be able to use on bigger bikes. Now, if it's not your first bike and you have motorcycles that are not Groms and you want a Grom, the answer should also be yes, because there's something different about this. Riding this through like uptown, going in between cars during traffic or rush hour, and I mean, parking right on the sidewalk beside people. These are all very good ideas. If I can get my butt up the hill. And if you drop it, I mean, one, it kind of sucks, but panels, like I said, are $50. And granted, they're prone to breaking on their own, which is kind of a bummer, kind of a con in itself. But the fact is that they're A is replacements, B, there's plenty of them, and C, that they're pretty cheap, all things considering. Put neutral. Bam. Okay, see, I did it perfectly. See, I'm going to turn the camera off, and then I won't be able to find neutral. And finding neutral is hard. And if you ever try to ride it, and then you have the two lines, not the N for neutral, but you have the two lines, you didn't put it in neutral. And you need to immediately stop, because that's not okay. But the bike has a couple of flaws. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. However, what you can't say about the Grom is that you cannot say it's not fun. This thing is awesome. Now, if you're used to like riding big Harleys, like the Street Glide or something, right? This one might feel like a toy, and it might be weird that the entire bike is resting below you. Cause like my Kawasaki and stuff, my handlebars are up here, and you kind of have the tank swoop up. Magnus kind of the same way. You're like riding on the bike. This, you're like on top of the bike, like the whole bike's like way down here. Should you get a Honda Grom? Yeah. What it's like after a year of using it? Amazing. Yeah, it got some flaws, but ain't nothing perfect. And this bike could be a lot worse than what it was. And I absolutely do not feel like I made a mistake getting it. Another pro that I think this is only exclusive to some people, but me, I like to take this thing on trips. I got my Pilot here. I got a motorcycle carrier. Put it on the back of the motorcycle carrier. I've taken this thing to Pennsylvania. I'm taking it to Maryland. I'm planning on taking it to the Outer Banks sometime soon here in the future. Definitely going to be a video about that, because that'll be awesome. But, I don't know if you guys like the vlog video. I did a vlog video where I took the Grom to Maryland to go do that ride along. That's where I fell off. Not a lot of people have seen it. It's a good video. I liked it. Apparently nobody else liked it, but I don't care about them. It's all about me. No, I'm joking though, but I do like doing those vlog videos though, because I think they're fun. It's a good way for my family, like my dad. My dad's way out where and over side of yonder, and it'd be nice. It's nice for him to like watch that kind of stuff. I wonder how he's doing. I should text him later. He's probably doing all right. But point is, good bike. Really do like it, and that's all I really got to say now. Thank you guys for watching the video. We're almost at 500 subscribers. We're at like 483 last time I checked. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate it. Sorry that the videos are not as consistent. I'm trying to get there. And I do have another channel which I just play like games or whatever on. I haven't made a video on there in a while either, but that's because if I don't put a video on this channel, I'm not going to make a video for that channel. It's kind of stupid. But I'll link that down in the description below. This is going to be a hefty description, I can tell you what. Anyways, drive safe, be great, and see you guys in the next one. See ya.